read it and I thought it was outrageous. I had no idea where the story was going, but when I got to the end of the story, I started reading it again and I said, let's go for it, let's do it. And then one morning you wake up with a kind of crisis of confidence, and it was myself who got the crisis of confidence, and I thought, I don't know if I can do this or not. This is really, this is pushing the envelope. It's great to kind of talk about it and dream about doing something, but to actually then have your cast and have your kind of ducks in a row, I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? I've, kind of got a really good career here going. It seems to be enjoyable. People seem to be buying what I do, and now I'm going to step into this arena. And I'm glad I did, because I've kind of somewhat painted myself into a corner with the characters I've played, and there's been a kind of quiet itch in my heart to kind of step out of and try and break the mold, and I never knew what shape or form that was going to take. And it was in this character of Julian Noble. So how do you play a psychopath? I found a wonderful lady who was a criminal psychologist at the LAPD, and I gave her the script, and she did a breakdown, an analysis of this psychopath, Julian Noble. And so it kind of concurred with some of my own sensing and intuition as an actor.
The mustache is really what did it.
The mustache, the village people mustache, And it was a wonderful, it was you have this text which is Joe Orton meets Hunter Thompson-esque Richard Shepard, these kind of strange worlds collide. Anyway, it seemed like a fine idea to go off and make the movie, and it was a joy to do.
What you just said is what Pierce and I met just briefly. We happened to be at a Hollywood little party after we knew we were going to do the movie, and we just we hadn't met before that. He liked me immediately. So we had a beer. We talked about it. Both of us. I think I had the same response to the script. It was fantastic. It was there's all of the cliches when you think of hitmen, buddy comedies were not there. It really, no big explosions or car chases. It wasn't that kind of movie. It really was a character piece, and it felt, we had a good laugh. We both got some Irish blood in us, so it actually, I think the key was to try to be as truthful and this whole thing was built on just trying to be as truthful and honest with the characters as you could, because it's a bit of a preposterous, situation that these two guys are set up in, and we weren't trying to wink or anything. Just had fun, did the scenes. Richard had written a very good script, and the rest of it just kind of unfolded.
Well, if the two of you hadn't been enjoying one another, it was very obvious that you were enjoying what was happening on the screen. Could you talk a little bit about your experience?
They enjoy it in ways we can't even talk about publicly.
Can you talk a little bit about your experience of working together? Can you talk about your experience of working together, what you learned from each other, and what your most favorite sequences were to shoot together?
Well, I think the bar sequence, when we first encounter, that on the page is, just watching him and knowing that I'm going to say, margaritas are it was funny to do, and it was kind of sad, and to see Greg, kind of dig in there and tell his story as the character. I know. But, the world of the outsider, it kind of appeals to me, and there's the world with the killer or the man who is on top of his game, like in Thomas Crown Affair. Those kind of men who are kind of shut down and, have some kind of inner turmoil appeals to me. But I loved Julian. I really, he was just a kind of guy who didn't have any friends. And it wasn't that he was a hitman, that was almost a sideline. It's just that he finds himself and finds his humanity in this encounter in a bar in Mexico City with another guy called Danny. And finds, like Richard says, finds his heart, finds his soul. But it is a comedy.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I when I read the script, I mean, clearly Danny was a very, decent, sweet guy, and I worried he was a little too nice, actually, and any time I tried to deviate from that and kind of make him maybe a little darker. I remember we did this movie a while ago, but every once in a while Richard would come up and whisper in my ear, he'd go, "You seem a little angry." So for some reason I kept heading into some turf that he desperately didn't want me to go into. Angry. You seem angry. It was, I think, a really important thing that he just be as innocent and as kind of naive as possible in order to service what's happening between these two guys, and to ultimately make the decision that he considers that resonate. The fact that how far would you go if there's anything about him that's unseemly? That's not such a big question, and so it was important to kind of keep that all in mind. And so yeah, I like that aspect of him very much, and I like the idea of playing a homicidal maniac at some point as well. So look forward to me in American Psycho 3. I remember this day specifically. I read the script and I was like, well, this guy, it feels like he has it didn't say that he had a mustache. It didn't say that anybody had facial hair. That was not a big piece of the text. But I instantly read it. I was like, this guy has a mustache. I feel it. I can see it. And I showed up about a week before we went down to Mexico City. We met over at Pierce's office. We're just going to sit there and talk a little bit about it. I show up. I haven't seen him in 2 months. I walk in there. Pierce has got a mustache. I got a mustache. Pierce goes, "Character assassination!" For whatever reason, it was bizarre. We kind of had the same sort of response to our characters. So one had to go. I took the bullet. Off it went.
But it came back.
But it came back. Wait, there's more.
Actually,
We actually, as we started to consider it, there was never a great little. We just wanted the tiniest thing that maybe Danny would have taken from this encounter with this guy.
just playing opposite Greg. I was a huge fan of the guy's work, and